live? Yes, we're live. Intro's done. I'm here. Don't worry, guys. Something's going on. I forget. I should make something disappear because somebody's not here yet. Maybe it was a false alarm. Maybe I was lied to. Whoever knows. It's Schmeckle. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna train a monkey. Something like that. How is everybody? Wow. It's Friday night. What the hell am I doing here? I think I'm gonna do a show now. I think that sounds like an interesting thing to do. And since my pre-planned guest, semi-planned, but pre-planned nonetheless, is not here, I think it's a good time to start the board. And it's the same old board. And I have half an idea what I'm doing because it's Friday. And, you know, there's other shit to do. And then you sit down for an hour and try to cram 2.5 hours worth of prep time into an hour, and you're rushing through everything and realize, oh shit, there's a Windows update. I'm going to go smoke a cigarette so I don't kill my computer. And then there's this. I screwed. No.
Welcome to the Great Debate.
Ooh, look at that board. I love this board. I'm like the way it's turned out over all these shows. I like the way it's kind of progressed along. I realize, of course, there's not going to be a lot of people in the audience for the first few times I do this show in the evening. Plus, you know what? I almost couldn't do it. I had to turn off the ghost poo because it went past 7 o'clock, and I wanted to keep tuning in, but I can't because I have a plan, I have an agenda, I have a game board that I want to play. And who in the chat wants to pick what's going to be played on tonight's game board? Because here I sit. Something. I don't remember how any of the rest of that goes, so I won't try. Welcome, Bronner. We have... Let's say hello to the chat. Let's use up a few minutes here because topics are so engorging. And... oh look, Cog just went live too. Awesome. We have Tread Silverworth. We have Liberals Get the Bullet too, which is always okay. And then there's Nightbot. And then there's G. Bronner. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're all caught up. So, who's picking the topic? What are we going to talk about, guys? There's lots of important things going on in the news. There's not so important things going on in the board. And you never know what we're going to deal with. And Bronner wants to pick school. School it's going to be. And you know what? I haven't done so many of these shows. I don't remember what I'm even... not that I really did remember what I put in here. But here we go. Should schools actively separate the students by sex? Would this benefit or hurt students? Ooh, here is an interesting one. If we separate them by gender and sex, well, if we separate them by sex, by actual sex, let's ignore gender right now. Let's talk about sex. Yes, let's talk about sex. Okay, now let's talk about separating students by sex. Depends on age. In general, if the school has both children, there's going to be things where they're going to be taught and interact together, which is kind of necessary in the development of children. However, at the same time, in understanding differences among social groups, it's known that at different periods during adolescence, children learn at different rates, usually based on male or female. And by separating men and women and teaching them the facts, maybe at different paces during different periods, we might be able to bridge the education gap between men and women. Oh, geez, depends on their gender identity. Nope. We're ignoring gender identity right now. When they start actually being interested in sex, then it becomes different too. Okay. as they move through adolescence into young adulthood, let's call it, and they begin to want to, is there a reason why we should reintegrate them or desegregate them? Is there a reason that would benefit their education system? What would the long-term impact of a standardized education system structuring separately men and women? Would there be fewer young pregnancies? Would that assist in cutting down abortion rates? Would there be fewer violence issues with students not fighting over girls or cat fighting over the guy? I don't know what the girls do. I don't. I guess it depends on the subject matter. In gym, doesn't it benefit to have the men and women separate? In a lot of conditions, doesn't it benefit highly to have them in separate conditions? I'm sure if I had a teacher on here, somebody who monitored hallways or anything special like that, they'd probably say it would be better to keep them somewhat separated, especially as they get older. When they're younger, boys and girls also learn at different rates. They're distracted by different things. They're interested in different things. They're interested at different ages. They learn certain things faster at certain ages and certain things slower at certain ages depending on their sex. They have different abilities and aptitudes. They have different strategies and thought processes. They have different experiences and things to deal with. What do we got from the chat here? I see some long stuff. I see no problem with kids being in the same class once, but in prepubescent age, separated sexed. Age what? Age separate sexed. The problem with it is that feminism. Imagine the female-only classes would teach. It would already shock going to university, learning patriarchy theory, and being subject to glares from the female sexes. Okay, I understood. It's fun to make fun of it, though. Majority. We can't keep them completely separated. PE should be separated, in my opinion. But you know what? In the same accord, here's a funny thing. Not to try to split genders in the chat or anything, but let's look at it like this. As a boy, well, once was a boy. The good old years. When I was younger and in school, I enjoyed the fact that classes were mixed, and I was in a school where I regularly got to see tight jeans and, low-cut shirts and girls that knew how to show off what looked good. And if I were in a school without that, I probably would have learned a little more or paid a little more attention in class, but that's not absolute because I used to sleep on my math book and then get 100. So I learned through osmosis. So I could have probably slept through some of my classes and passed. I did. PE, I read that one. Gender politics is going to shift and make it when they want kids to figure out their pronoun as young as 5. There's another thing. If you were to separate boys and girls by sex, and you were to teach that way, how far would this gender pronoun thing have gone? Or where would we be if you didn't have boys and girls trying to compete on equal playing fields for certain things at certain ages and realizing that they're just not equal, yet they're competing against each other? And certain groups are easily winning this competition. You are going to get those who go, well, I'm not living up to what I expected to be. I have to explore myself and see what other options there are. And that, granted, the ability to openly think about things, process them, and share them with the public is all it really was to start with. But that's where people start to get into the thought processes where I must be this because I don't fit in with what I should be because other people are doing better than I am. Or other people are doing so much worse than I am. I must be privileged because I feel this comes so much easier for me. So if we were made to compete about others that were or compete with others that were closer to ourselves in the things that we're competing on, the competition would be more fairly arranged. And then the winner would be the best of that finite group. By integrating everything and having so many people of so many different, I don't even know what word to use there. By having so many included in the pool, you're lowering the ability for somebody to overcome their peers. Now they're overcoming statistical odds because they're going into a larger group and they're competing against a larger varied mean. And I'm not a statistician or anything. I can't explain this very well. So when you compete with a specified group that's close in your ranking and you're as well able-bodied as those you're competing against, the win or loss is more of I need to do better for myself. When you start to compete against a larger group, you compare yourself to that group and try to figure out where in that group you fit in. And if you don't find yourself fitting where you classify somebody should fit because you're not sure. There's so many examples out there to look at. Well, Susie did this good and I didn't even do as good as Susie. And Jack did so much better than Susie did, so I must not be as good as Susie. So where does that leave me? And that's the kind of question that people ask and go, okay, so I must be like a lower ranking girl. Let me cut off my Adam's apple and grow my hair out long and see how much cleavage I get with some hormones I stole from some cabinet. This is the logic that people had, I'm assuming. I need to change the topic. I'm on a tangent. Let me check. I don't know. I don't trust Twitter, so I don't know if the check mark means they read it or it was sent or what the hell's going on. Whatever. Here we are finishing school. Yay, I'm done with school. Oh, Malevolent Rider. You're trying not to trip the bot? Is that what you're doing? Oh, you tripped the bot. Okay. I'm reading up the chat. People would adapt. What was that? But then society would be separated by sex. I mean, how would people adapt after school? There would be some integrated time as well. There would be things that would require people to integrate. There are subjects that would allow them to, they'd have to coincide. There would probably be, reasons and whatnot because it would still be the same school. It wouldn't be separate grounds or anything. It would be the same schools. However, they'd have to do that. But you'd run into fewer problems related to sexual comparisons and the gender diversity because it would be really hard to justify moving somebody from one side to the other if they didn't have the adequate parts to use. I think it would eliminate some problems. People would start seeing straight, and then they'd have the fight over reintegrating the schools together. And honestly, that'd be a whole lot more fun to argue over that than what we're arguing over currently. You would also have inner city classrooms with 30 male teenagers in one room. Don't we have inner city classrooms with 30 teenagers in one room? I have a question for you though. This is on a psychological level. Well, somebody picked TV. Damn you, Malevolent Rider. Not really. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here. If you take the female aspect out of it and wouldn't that take some of the psychological competition out of it? If men realized what their challenges were and they were taught accordingly and the classes were designed to be able to do that, then wouldn't that kind of eliminate some of the problems also? You wouldn't have that anger and animosity because so-and-so did something stupid. Even the classrooms in inner cities would still be doing better if they separated. Not saying it's viable, I'm just saying it's an option, something to talk about. Are we almost trying to create the illusion that we as man have the power of God with technology? Dun 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 dun. Let me reset my brain into this. Didn't I ask this question? I know I pressed save. Did I fix this? I really hate when people mumble. If this show was 2 or 3 hours, then by all means talk and you have a time, but you have a time crunch. Oh, yes, I do kind of have a time crunch. I'm in a moderate hurry. It's 20. Oh, yeah, I guess I am a little behind. You are right, though. I'll give you that, Malevolent. I'm a little bit behind. Absolutely geoengineering. Okay, so let's take this technology and we'll move our technology. We have the technology to play the power of God with the planet, and we move to Mars, and we evolve the planet along to sustain us as a population. Does that mean that once we get it to where we feel that it's necessary, we should continue to use it? Does that mean that we should use it on Earth to balance out the things that we feel aren't right? And if so, who decides how to balance the power and when it's appropriate? Let's say, for instance, we learn in June of this year that by releasing this special chemical in the atmosphere, we can clear the clouds around the planet and give us a beautiful blue sky for 24 hours worldwide. Is this something we would want to continually do? And that's only one-sided. Let's say then, somewhere around the same period, we not only learn how to clear the clouds, but we also learn how to reseed them adequately and to build cloud faces in the same manner in which we can dilute them. Should we then be able to freely use the technology because we understand how to do both aspects? Not understanding completely maybe why or if there's a function to them forming. Are they literally by chance? Or is there a biochemical or bioelectrical feedback that causes the planet to do specific things to keep itself moving? Or is it just happenstance that keeps us in the climate we're in? It's always a weird thought, because I have technology. Yes, we will. Hell no. Yes, will we? Hell no. Kind of confused there. Yes, will we? Hell no. I'm with you, but mildly confused. Oh, hold on. Let me go back and read the statement before. Hell no. Where's my baseball? Just kidding. Hell yeah, I am a god. Bow before me. Bow down before me, because I have technology. Yes, we will, and hell no. Yes, will we, and hell no. Disney made a movie about the weather control methods in the 50s that was really interesting, based off the premise of altering weaker air masses to alter larger ones controlled by the world government. We have a very broken world communication system thing. I don't know what you really want to call the UN. It's not viable in my opinion, so we won't give it a label right now. Wouldn't we have to have a planetary weather council, and they'd be responsible for monitoring and tracking what was going on? And if that was the case, wouldn't an immediate response be to form clouds and bring the temperature of the planet down? We're saying that we've entered into a global warming phase, and that kind of makes no sense. It makes some sense, but in other aspects, I'm going to explain them. It's going to make less sense. if our planet is continuously warming, which we can say is from abundant release of certain chemicals in early mass production days where we didn't understand the chemical reactions with our ozone. But nowadays, one of the things that they're saying causes, and this is something I ran across and was thinking about. I do a lot of work outside, guys, so I'll watch or listen to something while I'm working, and it'll make my mind think a bit. We're talking about smog being created from all of these problems and it being an environmental catastrophe. And yes, I'm not going to disagree with that. But the thing is, what starts to bring on an ice age is something like a volcanic reaction where a lot of smoke and ash are lifted into the atmosphere and it blocks out the sun from getting to the ground. So if we have smog and all this release from our emissions, that's thickening up the atmosphere and preventing the sun from reaching the ground completely. Though that's not entirely 100%. So if we could engineer our clouds, we would want to cool the planet down. So we would try to engineer more clouds and possibly light rains to cool the planet down. So is that the right thing to do? And if we can do it, should we? Or should we wait till we're in a catastrophic event where there's no choice but to do something to prevent something from happening? And looking at the chat as I click that to end it for the Malevolent Rider because he loves the time being up, and it is up. Excuse me, are we going to have a... Oh, wait, hold on, that's the bot. Never mind. Liberals get the bullet. Our proposal is simply increasing the sulfate additive to the existing commercial airline fuel. Isn't that why we get some of our chemtrails and stuff from certain planes when they hit high altitudes or break certain atmospheric levels? Scoba? I think the water is evaporating. Yes, from my head. There's a small-scale aerosol release test going on right now called Project Hodor. It's ongoing. I made a documentary on chemtrails, actually. I saw a documentary, and not sure if it was yours. No, through intentional try to block the sun. Can't remember what it's called. No, they intentionally try to block the sun. Can't remember what it's called. Yeah, if Data Wasteland were in here, he could tell you what it was. He shared something with me, and it was about how they released certain trails from planes, and they were releasing them in a pattern where their spread would cause small cloud formations. It's kind of cool. I've also seen one where they do a reverse cloud seeding where they drop a chemical in a few days or a few hours before a planned event or something, and they can clear the clouds for a blue day for a hefty price. There's all sorts of ways we've already started to mess with all of this stuff. So if we could, should we? Should we do it here, do it somewhere else, and use what happens here as an outline? Kind of try to watch the weather patterns here and mimic them somewhere. Yep, with aluminum in it, that's the problem. Is that the one to eliminate the rain? It's like an aluminum compound mix. It's like a powder they drop in, and it causes the raindrops to gather together and causes the rain to fall from the cloud. It causes it to get dropped. No, I don't like being a lab mouse. First using the Vietnam War. Alright, we do have a board back up. Yeah, I did get the board back up. And is everything working? Alright, what time is it? Not looking. Oh, look at that. We're doing good. We're starting to catch up on time here. Whoa. Whoa. Oops. Come back to me. Pick fuckers. What? Hey, Reject. Welcome. Would you be so kind, being a new guy here, playing PUBG, that's fine. You could also look up at the screen real quick and type in one of those fine, what do we got? 16 topics left. Yeah. I'll have to think about adopting that one as a new board tab. I might have to add some new tabs to talk about. Video games from the Reject. We were going to talk about video games. Just so you know, there might not be specific titles in here. Are shooting and killing games a good medium to allow children to play? Ow. Bones are cracking here. Well, welcome, Reject. PPC, woman, NumbedSkull. I invited her, NumbedSkull, and 5 other people. Well, welcome, woman, in chat. It's awesome to have you here. It really is. Plus, I'm kind of picking on Malevolent because he doesn't like my timer. Or he does like my timer. I just don't listen to it. Something like that. Not if they don't know about real guns. That's an interesting statement. My 12-year-old has a collection of Nerf guns, and I've let him shoot a couple of BB guns, a pistol, and a rifle. I don't own firearms, so I can't let him shoot firearms, and I let him play Call of Duty more than I even play it anymore. Is this wrong? Should I not let him play these games? He's not very good because he doesn't understand the full concept of guns, so he gets kind of angry with the game, and that doesn't always bode well in the end because, you know, he's a kid and gets angry with the game, and you throw my controller, you're getting in trouble. That's why he's not allowed to use my controller. I wonder if letting him play those games, or even letting my even younger daughter play those games, which she hasn't yet, not even the age I'll let her play, is this bad? Am I doing the wrong thing? Or is it right of me to allow him to play these games so I have a concept for him to build on by understanding that the weapons kill somebody in the game? If it was a real weapon in real life, it could kill somebody for real. Would that make it easier or more difficult to understand that as he gets older? Another thing I question is the video game, or even watching a movie in some cases, but is the video game going to change the way he plays if he does Nerf shooting or like a laser tag or something like that out in the yard or somewhere? Is that going to change it for the better or for the worse? And I always have to wonder how my parenting is against what would be good for him. And I have kind of, well, if you do what you're supposed to do, I kind of let you do what you want to do within reason. So, you know, get your homework and everything else done, do your chores, and then, you know, go play with sticks and rocks in the backyard. Or I'll show you how to use this 12-inch chop saw, and then, you know, you'd use it a few times, and I'll let you do a project. So I sometimes wonder if my parenting is too easy or even sometimes too restrictive in the same question. Let's look back at the chat and see what I'm missing here. Not if they don't know about real guns. Got to respect real guns. She is the person who made the Minions of the Zoo. I don't know if I've seen it, to be honest, but I might have. I've seen a lot of stuff. I'm starting to go a little blank, especially with it being summertime. Well, glad to have you here hanging out. I used to play for Soldiers of Fortune and feel bad as people screamed, holding their severed limbs and exploited testicles. Soldiers of Fortune was a game, right? Yeah, I think. The question is, though, is this a good thing to teach kids? When is it the right time? I let my son play Mario, and that's about it. He's 5. I let my daughter play Minecraft. She's 5. I let my son play Call of Duty. He's 12 tomorrow. No, Sunday. I don't know. I feel like I grew up watching messed up movies and haven't killed anyone. I've never killed anyone. And I've seen some real messed up movies. I didn't play any violent video games until I was an adult. That's kind of true, though. That's what I'm saying is I didn't even play, like, the kicking and punching games until I was my son's age. And my son plays games where he gets to pick his AK-47 or M15 or pair of M8s. you gotta wonder, what am I doing? Is this good or bad? Am I on the right track, or am I teaching my son to be a homicidal villain running out there and shooting anybody that has something in their hand? Which way am I going with this? Not to so much use my son as reference, but that happens. You know, you have to relate your opinion to what you're relating to. Well, playing video games isn't good either. Yeah, my son's only allowed to play so long. What do you feel? How do you think he would act around a real gun, like if one of his friends somehow got one? Honestly, a bit of fear, because I have explained to him that the end of a gun, regardless, hurts, and if it's real, it's going to do a lot more damage, and it is slightly illustrated in movies where you can refer to it and point out. Now, that's not entirely real, but it would be worse or better than that. You know, you can explain to him when he sees things, use it as reference. No. I could be watching porn or YGP. I don't know what YGP is. But, yeah, you could be watching porn. I watch porn. What's wrong with watching porn? Moving on. Let's not talk about me watching porn. Look, even Nightbot's trying to distract. What are we moving on to? Because that would be the very important question. Let me get back over here. I've got such a big screen in front of me. I'm trying to look around at everything and make sure I'm not missing what's going on. I'm making sure I got the live chat clicked on the YouTube chat. I'm making sure the Streamlabs chat bot is screwed something up on me. It doesn't look right. It's bothering me. I'm gonna have to fix that. I don't like it. The fuss bot looks the same. I'm good with that. Who do we still have in the chat? I'm not even looking at my participants list. Do I have a participants list? Google, will you please present me with the participants list? Reload this page and give me the list. Liberals or writer turn to pick. You know what? I don't. Are there turns? Are you guys actually taking turns? By the way, I'm like this on the other streams with a timer. Just timer, not just yours. Okay, so yeah, I'll fix that. Don't worry, I'll take care of something for when you do that. I can even make the bot help me respond. Saki, welcome. How we doing? Hunley, welcome. How are you doing? Everybody's just popping in and out. That's okay. Pop in, pop out. Help me pick some topics to talk about while you're here, though. Oh, crap. I'm going to break something. It's a little tight here. Hold on. Let me move my chair closer to my desk. The chair's not on wheels, but the desk is. Maybe I should have just moved the desk. So that's better. Okay. I also got to pick that. Or fix that. Oh, yeah, and he ignored you, Ryder. No, he picked TV. We did TV. Didn't we? Oh, did I click the wrong one? Let's do television, because I feel like an idiot now. No. Oh, I clicked technology, didn't I? Oh, why didn't you tell me, Malevolent? I would have seen that in the chat. We're going to have to do TV because I screwed up Malevolent's pick. Should television shows be showing relationships at all? Only if they show the sex. I mean, I don't know. It's a weird thing I look at with television. And when you watch cable shows, which I don't, but my wife does. At the beginning of most of them, you notice they go to that like weird faded black gray screen, and then they pop up with little boxes. This is rated EM XX, something weird like that. I forget what all the letter ratings are, and those letter ratings help identify what they're going to be seeing in the movie, and that kind of helps you pick what to show. And if the relationship's going to get a little too intense, the alphabet gets a little higher. Maybe you double a couple of letters in there that cross each other. Hey, Trippy Poop, welcome. I I wonder, should they be showing relationships if it's offensive to people? And this is a weird question to ask, because obviously in asking the question, I'm sure somebody can hear the tone I have, like, yeah, I want to see hot women trying to be attractive and sexy and, you know, coming on to their man, because then if my woman's right there, I'm going to get excited and turn around and, you know, want her to do that with me, and we're going to move on. Yeah. Glad you got my invite to the cunt stream. Starts after this. I think I might semi be invited. I might go check it out. It doesn't start right after this. I think it starts an hour after my show ends. But okay. Bones, knick-knack, paddywhack. That's the Nightbot. Don't read the Nightbot. Stop reading Nightbot, dumbass. Define relationships. See, there's another one. Dating, marital, friends, mentor. In the old days in TV, didn't they? They literally showed what was actually happening, and that was where you'd have men and women sleeping in separate beds in the same room until, what was it, the late 60s, early 70s, where they started to get a revolt in TV, and they started to show men and women in the same bed. Oh my, such breaking news. Just a curious question, not that I have anybody in the chat who can probably answer this question. How does the different bed thing work? Did they actually push the beds together, or did they just say, no, honey, it's your night to clean up, so we're going over to your bed? No, hon, we were in my bed last time. Let's do it in your bed tonight. Oh, I got an idea, honey. How about you put your head on my bed and your feet on your bed, and we'll try it like this? Sure. Was it like, you know, it makes me wonder when I see that in the old shows with the separate beds. Tangent, sorry. The complaint comes in about showing gay relationships and bi relationships and hetero relationships, and then you gotta stop and think, I want to see what I want to see, but somebody else wants to see something different. I feel kind of uncomfortable in certain scenarios, and I'll get up and walk away from a show if I see something I get uncomfortable with. Not an uncomfortable as in phobic. Did that almost echo on its own? Let me try it again. Phobic. Yeah, that's cool. It's not that I'm phobic about it. It's just certain things make you feel uncomfortable. Granted, the show might be trying to do that on purpose, but when they put you in a scenario where you feel uncomfortable, you feel uncomfortable. And I don't say anything, I don't care. I just stop watching the show. That's how I show my reaction. It's okay, I'm done. I'm going to get a drink, I'm going to go outside, I'm going to have a cigarette. I really don't care what they have to say anymore, because that's stupid. And I don't like it. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean I'm afraid or have an unconscious or biased fear of it or anything stupid like that. It's just... No echo? I tried. Golf City's at 8:30. Am I over? No, I won't overlap with them. The Flintstones television, first couple in the same bed. Was it? When was that? I don't know. Mullet Rider playing with his phone. It's plural. Put the beds together. Was it really? See, you gotta wonder, because in some shows there's a nightstand between the beds. So how do you push your beds together if there's a stand there? And if there's a stand there, do they sell 4-piece stand sets where you get the table on one corner and the table on the other corner and the table in the center and then the dresser? And if that's the case, I have a house that was built in the 1950s. Why isn't my bedroom like 3 times the size it is? I would love to have, a huge-ass bedroom that would have fit 2 twin-sized beds in it. So I'm a little confused. But that's how shit happens. I get confused. I ask questions. The show must go on, and therefore we're clicking. Oh, he did say it before I clicked. I tried. That's what happens when you don't pay attention to the timer. They separated Lucy and Ricky because of racism. Terrible. That was so terrible. I didn't watch a lot of the Lucy. A few here and there. The Borderland, welcome to the chat. So we have Liberal and Toys next. Wait, what? Liberal and toys. I don't have a liberal category. Do I? So I did catch toys somewhere back there where somebody wants to talk about toys. The Borderland. Oh! The Borderland is King Carl. I should have remembered that. Hi, King Carl. Welcome to the chat. How are you doing? Or is the way I greet King Carl, fuck you, fucker! The fuck are you talking about? That's my welcome to King Carl, because that's how King Carl talks, isn't it? Well, every time I've talked to King Carl, that's how he talks, right? Am I wrong? Now I'm rambling again, guys. There's topics on the board, and somebody needs to look at the board. Besides myself. How many do I got left? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 are out of the way. Let's try 1 or 2 more before the show is over. Oh, ear rape. Sorry. Ear rape. Toys it is. I'm losing myself here. I need a drink also. My mouth is dry. Laser tag is fun. Do toys train us for futuristic wars? Conjecture topic. Because we're not in futuristic wars. Best fucking way to say hi. But that wasn't from the Borderlands, so either he came and left, or he came, heard me say that, and went, you know what, how the fuck do I get my link? This asshole's gonna get it now. Excuse me, let me take that sip. Alright. That's better. Laser tag is fun. Do toys train us for futuristic wars? I did watch a video exclaiming how the battles of the future fought with light were going to be much the same as, you know, shots of bullets now. You don't see the bullet coming. By the time you know it's happened, it's already gone through you. By the time you were hit with a light blast from far away, actually reasonably far away, it would already have done the damage. And what damage would it have done is defined by however light weapons decide to proceed from here. But are we training our kids for a war that we think is coming, or for something that may be inevitable in the future? Are we showing them a weird, fun glimpse into what they're going to be doing? By the way, kids, in about 30 more years, you're going to be firing this M16 with light bullets. When you pull that trigger, this blue ray is going to pop out the end and go through the next person before you even know you pulled it. So be careful not to slice someone's head off with 3 or 4 quick light shots, because that's dangerous. Like the Power Rangers and etc. The Power Rangers, it's almost funny, the Power Rangers. But yeah, Gauss weaponry all the way. You have to wonder, even if we figured out how to make lethal or even decent projectile light weapons, would that be worth it? Honestly, looking at different modes, we are going to have more success firing sonic than light rounds, I think. Because if you fired something that released a sonic pulse at a target, that pulse emanates from it, you can create an effect from that. Different things. What do we got here? Something. Israel has chemical laser anti-missile defense, which has shot down a lot of incoming. That's 30-year-old tech now. They have active duty laser weaponry now. Did King Carl dipped? Yeah, I think King Carl might have dipped, but that's okay. Maybe he got mad because I was screaming. It's okay. Let's see. What do we got? The weapon requires too much power to carry unless you want 5,000 Duracell batteries in a backpack. Really? Really, Saki? You know about resistors and capacitors and diodes and stuff, assuming a little bit. You don't think there's a way we can condense and compress electricity to the point where its release could be hazardous or lethal by firing it? I do. I think if you designed it properly, you could fire a bullet that would release from the gun without leads and hit the person and tase them with enough to hold them down, but you wouldn't be able to fire a second pulse. Each one would have to be a specially designed capacitor with, the coils and stuff on the inside would have to be designed in order to hold the largest amount and release it in the right manner with some sort of resistor to keep it below so many amps going through the person. I'd still rate Goss over Light anytime. Probably true. Before this was Ghost Poo Podcast. Yes, before this was Ghost Poo Podcast. After I got Cunt Stream, Gulf City, Lords of the Night, Chaos 120, and Minions of the Zoo in that order. I got a couple I'm supposed to check in on tonight. Well, guns are going to be more important than laser. Yes. Yes, I really think that railguns, they're the ones that shoot like high potent projectiles. It's an actual projectile. But the way it launches it is like a refined process or something. I forget. I'm gonna have to look back into railguns. I really have no fucking clue about railguns. Topic for toys is up. I said it before you, Malevolent. Oh, and Cognitive Thought is live right now. I know I'm missing a stream. I'm not very happy about it. Why do I miss people's streams? Because they start after I do? Shit happens. I will watch it. As long as he doesn't go over like an hour and a half. Laser beams will be short-term tech. I think laser beams and light weapons will probably not get much farther than we use lasers right now. I think we've probably found one of the most efficient ways to use them, and that is for targeting only. Particle beams are the next generation. And particle beams actually manipulate the particles in which the pulse is sent, correct? Little iron rods. That would be the railgun, yes. And the iron rod is sent like a bullet kind of thing, but large scale. Is gambling illegal? That's the bot. NumbedSkull, do the 11 p.m. cunt stream, not the 8 p.m. Oh, are you nuts? I tried to sleep in an hour this morning, and I was going fucking nuts. My back was killing me. I'm going to try and make it as late as I can tonight, and then work harder at it tomorrow. Railguns are crazy. I want one. I'm going to look into them now because you want one. Let me get the board for you guys. We'll get one more topic out of today. We already did 5. That's usually a goal. I could chat for 10 more minutes. But let's get one more topic. Wait, no, I want 2. Iron rods between electromagnetic currents. Ooh. Ooh, interesting. I love new designs. I'm really going to have to look at it. I don't have my notebook out, so if I don't write it down, I might not look at it. But I don't have my notebook because I took it with me with a list in it. And had shit to... Never mind. We already use lasers as anti-ICBM weapons. Why? Because lasers make high-speed targeting and allow you to predict the accuracy and the speed and the direction. So... Malevolent Rider, I woke up at 9 p.m. yesterday. Says, movies are what the fuck. Malevolent Rider doesn't want to pick because he doesn't want to pick. But I've kind of let him pick one, and I accidentally picked one for him. I could pick one of the 2 that he selected, or I could let you guys pick whatever you want. I don't know what direction to go here. I can click on any one of these remaining 13 buttons. There's 13 of them. It won't, will it let me click? See, for some reason, I think there was an update or I screwed something up. So now I can't click on these a second time. So there's no going back into a question we already did anymore. Trez says movies. Movies it is. We're going to almost clear a whole row. Sometimes remakes are better. What makes a remake better than the original? So here's a good ponderance. We're always looking at how, even I in this show have done it, how different generations see things. And the reflection of their perspective of how they see things is how the movie is created. So if they remake a movie is part of what makes it better, the fact that it was made with more modern nuances to be understood by the people watching it now. Or, yes, a lot of remakes are shit. but some of them are better. What helps them be better? Let's focus on this, because remakes are becoming popular. And as much as we don't like it, some things we want to see remade because, well, they were done like shit the first time anyways, and a remake might be good. So the Treswolf sends in here, let me say that again where I don't read three things at once. Treswolf says The Longest Yard remake was funnier than the original. Adam Sandler versus Burt Reynolds. Burt Reynolds in his time, for a couple of his movies, was really, was it Burt Reynolds that was Rubber Ducky? Or was that, no, it was Burt Reynolds in, the one where they're hauling the beer. Why can't I think of the name of that movie? The one where they're hauling the beer. The eastbound down, loaded up in trucking. The Bandit. That's, I'm gonna do it. No, can't think. Nah, I can't remember all the words. Smoking the Bandit. That's the one. Yeah, see? Alright. Glad you guys are all thinking with me here now. If they did a remake, would it be stupider? Because it doesn't really apply now. You can't outrun the cops. Shit ain't like that. You can't do a remake of a bootleg movie right now. It just doesn't make sense trying to make things like that in our time. What would make the remake funnier? What would make a remake better? Using our current lingo and slang, all that other fun shit that people like to do. Would adding the floss, because I heard it today, I hate it. Would adding that to a video make it better? Was the new Dukes of Hazzard better than the old Dukes of Hazzard because shorts were the same? What? Or was it better because of the college dorms? Wait, I actually have my sound effects loaded. It's too late now, that's gay. The Point Break remake was made me want to and hero myself. To be a hero yourself, I'm assuming. Certain things inspire me to want to think about other things. I like that. When a movie is remade and you're left feeling like you never should have watched it, that the first one was better, you know that they were really just trying to remake the first one and did a shitty job. My personal opinion. What makes a remake better is when somebody has seen the original movie and realizes that almost none of that original movie applies. Would the remake of Ghostbusters been better, done with girls, if they'd have done it completely different? Done it in Los Angeles instead of, what was it, Chicago? Would it have been better if they did not include any of the older cast, or the building, or tried to remake the car the same? I mean, they used a few cool things, but wouldn't it have been better if they didn't try so hard to be like Ghostbusters, but they said, you know what? This is like Ghostbusters. We're going to call it Ghostbusters. What do we got in here? Okay, well, kill yourself. Depends on the computer tech, adds more to the story for the character, looks at all the different Jungle Book movies. That's true. I haven't seen the newest ones that have come out, but they looked more interesting than the ones previous to them, which is where, they kind of use what's new. Are we counting down? Wait, what's going on, Malevolent? Are we counting down? What are we doing? Wait, what? I got 4 minutes left. I don't know what's going on. I'm lost. What pisses me off about remakes is basically everything is a remake. Yeah, everything is a remake, but some of the remakes that are better build on a completely separate premise from the movie they're remaking. So, is that what makes them better if they just say, okay, well, I know in the original movie this is what happened, but I don't care. And I'm going to do it this way for this next movie. Is that what makes it better? Because in my mind, when they try to stray from the movie is when they do the best job. See, Ryder's on his way out for the cunt stream. I haven't gotten an alert it started, but I might have missed it. What makes it better? That's a very hard question to answer, though, and I really think it comes down to separating yourself from what you're trying to redo. Understand it is its own body, and there's no way to redo that work and make it better. The only way to be better is to have a new story that maybe correctly connects to the previous one, or barely connects at all and just takes a different direction to give the reader or the watcher something different. Oh, and the timer is over. 3 minutes to it. Okay, no, stuff like King Kong is good just because of the technological advances. 3 minutes to the half cunt stream. Half cunt. Okay. Well, what is there left to discuss in the final 2 minutes, guys? How do you like this evening show? I'm noticing a more of a variety of people joining us tonight. If I didn't say hello, Cool Dog, welcome. And I appreciate everybody coming. I'm gonna have to get used to this or push it back farther. Mind you, I've got children watching a movie in another room and a wife walking back and forth, trying to figure out how to make this work. But guys, this is a comfortable time for me to sit here and wind down my night chatting about whatever the hell I gotta chat about. There's plenty of stuff to talk about sometimes. I think I do have to start sitting down a little bit earlier and doing some more prep work for the show, though. And you never saw Which Godzilla, Bronner. Which Godzilla didn't you see? So, with that, I think I'm going to find some outro music to play you guys to. I'm going to ask that you slap some buttons, play with whatever it is that you play with on your way out. Thank you, everybody, for being a subscriber. Thank you, everybody, for hitting that bell. Hit the thumbs that you want to hit. Slap something on the way out. Have yourselves a great weekend. And I see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for the Numbed Wasteland if you would like to tune in. Goodbye.